You know, there are songs about it. Some of us have even been there. We're talking about being caught in a bad romance and the extreme consequences you sometimes have to deal with. This especially holds true to adolescent girls. And here to talk with us about the potential impacts of early romances is UNM sociologist Brian Solar. Good morning, Brian. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
This is an interesting topic, kind of a scary thought that young girls can actually be, you say, at higher risk sometimes for like depression and even have suicidal thoughts. Real scary. You know, you talk about how this could actually, it all starts with perhaps having a preconceived notion of what a relationship is supposed to be like, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So why do you think this happens? I mean, why is it that as a young girl you might have a preconceived notion of what a relationship is supposed to be?
Well, I think that, all people tend to have these preconceived notions about how a relationship should unfold. The thing is that when they don't unfold in the manner in which they think they should, ideally, the mental health consequences can differ for boys and girls.
Wow. And you talk about how some of the consequences. I mean, I mentioned them, depression, and the one that really gets me is the thoughts of suicide.
Yes.
I mean, those are extreme.
Yeah, so I found that as the relationship kind of unfolds much more differently than how it should have unfolded, ideally, that girls are at increased risk of both or suicidal thoughts, suicide attempts, as well as severe depression. So there's really strong consequences for girls' mental health.
Is it the same thing? Is it the same for like boys or a little bit different?
I found that there's really no impact on boys' mental health as far as when it unfolds differently for them.
That is interesting. So what should we do about this? I mean, as parents or prospective parents, is there a way to kind of turn this around so it doesn't have such a negative impact on some girls, for example?
Sure. I think it's important to recognize that romantic involvement is a really staple or an important part of adolescence. As you go on from childhood to adolescence, one of the hallmarks of that time is increased romantic involvement. But I think it's important to encourage girls to be more assertive in their relationships and really express how the relationship should unfold and to communicate that with their partners potentially.
That's interesting. So you're suggesting maybe to teach young girls to be a little bit more assertive instead of so passive, right?
Yes.
Wow.
In a way.
Interesting. Yeah. And this obviously, I mean, is it safe to assume that this has an effect on self-identities, like if they become more independent per se in their relationships, that can help?
Sure. I also think that it's important to encourage girls to build their identities around things other than the romantic relationships, such as sports or other extracurricular activities.
And I think that's a great point because I just remember as, when I was young, growing up, it's kind of, you almost fall into this period of time where all you focus on is, having a boyfriend or having a girlfriend and the relationship. But you're saying it's real important maybe for parents to kind of remember to encourage kids, and just don't focus on that and focus on other things.
Exactly, yeah. And I think that's an important thing that will help adolescent development more generally as well.
Wow, that's interesting research that you've done. Thanks for coming in,
Thanks for having me.
shedding some light. For more on Brian Solar's research and what we've talked about today, we've got a full recap on our website. Go to krqa.com and click on the CASA blog. All right, thank you, Brian.
Thanks.